evening, everybody, and welcome to what is the first and more than likely the last time that the Old Man Mafia gets together. We are excited tonight. My name is Marty, and we are here with two very special guests who we are now inducting into the Old Man Mafia because, well, you only got to satisfy two requirements here, guys. You got to be a guy and you got to be old. And we got all that right here. So tonight we have with us Justin Jacobson from Restoration Games. Justin, welcome to the show. And also we have Stephen Buonocore, the Podfather, who is now retired, living somewhere on a beach down in Florida. So
Marty and I will be 54.
You youngsters. Yeah,
I'm the whippersnapper, I guess. I just turned 50.
And I'm glad that we have the chat helping us out because I didn't have you guys turned on. So Justin, welcome to the show.
I knew it. I knew he'd screw it up.
It's finality. Oh my heavens.
I was gonna say it's not Old Man Mafia if you get the tech right on the first go. It's called streaming, Marty.
I apologize for that. I purposely had them turned down so we wouldn't be talking over the wonderful music at the beginning, and I forgot to turn them back up. So everybody should be on. Stephen, if you could say something to make sure that you're there now.
I'm here.
All right, perfect. Tony, why don't you catch up for a couple seconds and let me make sure that everything is okay on all the streaming platforms real quick.
Okay, well, you did, but we're going to have to do a checklist just for this if you're going to keep this up. I mean, how many times you've dropped the power when we've recorded the podcast? You forgot to put in the memory card. Man, Prevagen. Come on, dude. Let's get some Prevagen going. That's what I'm saying. So gentlemen, once again, thank you for being here. What fun have you been having lately? And I do have something I'm jealous of you, Stephen, but something I want to pick at you about. So, Justin, what you been up to, man?
What have I been up to?
Yeah, you've been running a game company?
Yeah, I was going to say, there's a pandemic going on, in case you weren't aware. So I've been staying at home. Yeah. It's funny. I've just been staying at home. We've been very careful. We're definitely on the more cautious end of the spectrum. So we haven't been going out much. Just maybe a little outdoor restaurant type stuff here and there. And then just watching a lot of TV and movies with the family. But everybody's managing pretty well, honestly. So
that's good.
It's been quiet, but relatively uneventful, which these days is a good thing, I would say.
As long as the family's been healthy and safe.
Yeah.
That is it.
Yes.
Absolutely. Especially, in our classification, we are generally up in the level of vaccines of being able to get it. So we have to be careful with, the Old Man Mafia stuff. So Mr. Buonocore, here's what I want to pick. First off, I'm jealous of the retiree thing. Okay.
Okay. You're allowed to be. All right.
And so my second jealous point was you went and got to see a space launch.
Oh.
I live obviously fairly close. Justin and I both live fairly close to the Kennedy Space Center, about 2.5 hours away. So in July, I headed up to see the Mars 2020 mission launch, which was spectacular. So the only one I've seen live. You can actually see them. It's funny, out this window over here at night, you can actually see it. If one launches, you can actually see the trail. You can't really see it, but you see this trail going and a little bit of fire. So it's kind of cool. But yeah, so I went to see the Mars 2020 launch, which features the Perseverance rover, which I helped to name. I don't know if you know that. I was one of the selected educators, scientists, and general jerks that they said, you sound like you have qualifications that you can help name this rover. And we took names from grade school kids and we graded them, and then a name was selected, and Perseverance was the selection. But there was hundreds of us, so it wasn't like I had a really big part, but I had a little part. And the funny thing is, in just about 1 month from today, the 18th of February, Perseverance rover lands on Mars. So I am very excited actually about that. I'm a big space nerd after being a big game nerd, after being a big beer nerd, after being a wine nerd. So I'm very excited about that. So yes, thanks.
Yeah,
I actually, sorry, I got to see a launch last year. It's really worth doing if you can, and just in general, even if you can't get it to a launch, the Space Center is an amazing place to visit. If you ever get down to Disney World or whatever, it's a hop, skip, and a jump over there. Is totally worth the day trip.
Kennedy Space Center is amazing. So many great exhibits. We now have annual passes, and it's we're going to be going a lot, once this is over. But I was actually planning on going up again in the next couple of weeks, just because SpaceX has got a very aggressive calendar putting things up. So just going for even a smaller launch, just putting some of their satellites up. It's just fun to be, and you're really close, and you get to see it launch. It's cool.
Yeah, and what reminded me of this was, sorry, Mario, was that you posted on Facebook a video you shot of that launch, and I was sitting there watching your video, living vicariously through you.
Oh.
My favorite part was you were filming the wrong direction. Do you remember that, sir?
No, I was not filming in the wrong.
Yeah, you were over there, and the rocket was over there, and then you said, "Oh, wait, it's over here."
I had to move by about 5 degrees, and that's a pretty big amount when you have the. But it was just a little bit. I missed just the beginning of it because you can't see the launch pad from the visitors center. There are places where you can see the launch pad, but they were not open. I was at the visitor center, and you have to wait until it gets above the trees. So you don't know when it's going to get. All of a sudden, I went, oh, there. So
exactly. It's over here.
You missed 2 seconds. Come on, Tony. 2 seconds.
All right, before we get started, Don in the chat says, this is for Steven, does the new Terraforming Mars card game launch on Kickstarter the same day it lands on Mars? Because if not, make it happen.
Oh, that's actually I have no say in that. Let's start with that. It's funny, but it's gonna be very, very close because I don't remember if they've announced the date of the Kickstarter, but I'll tell you because I kind of know. I don't remember. It's either the 9th or the 16th that the Kickstarter launches, and the Mars rover lands on the 18th. So it'll be close.
It'll be close.
Very, very close.
During the campaign, at least. That's something they can.
Yeah, it'll be absolutely during the campaign. If they're smart, they'll use that.
All right, gentlemen, here's why we are here. We are going to play a game that younger people play where they get on this app, and if they want to date people, I guess they look at pictures or something, and if they're interested, they swipe to the right if they're interested and swipe to the left if they're not. So we're not going to play with the dating app, but instead we're going to do something else. I am going to make a lot of statements tonight, and each one of us will either say, swipe right, you agree with this statement, swipe left, you disagree, and for those that are watching, we want you to participate in the chat. So as soon as I make the statement, what I'm going to do... Yes, Steven, you have a question.
Now, first of all, you told me I would be swiping right and swiping left tonight. So first of all, I thought I was going to get a date tonight. So I'm very disappointed in this format here. I thought I'd be having a date with one of you guys. So, this is wish. Just now I'm disappointed. I know. I mean, it's okay. But all right, we'll be doing this for, games and pop culture or whatever you can do. All right, fine.
So swipe right is yes.
I agree. Right. Swipe left is I disagree, and you can explain why you agree or disagree. And we're going to be all over the map, gentlemen. There's going to be board game discussion, TV, food, all over the place, and they have no idea what I'm going to be asking.
So why don't we just say agree or disagree? Why, I mean, it's not
because
like
it's more fun doing it this way.
Well, I don't touch a screen or anything. I'm simply saying swipe right, I agree, or swipe left. Am I poo-pooing on your parade?
Yes. Kind of. Which is why you're going to get to go first in this. So in the chat, I'm going to put question 1 And then that way I can see the break in between questions so I can see how many people answer this and how they do it. All right, here we go. Tony. Waffles over pancakes.
Waffles over pancakes, as in place them on top of?
You prefer waffles are better than pancakes.
Oh, that much better question. Okay, thank you very much.
I can't believe you need an explanation of that.
Chicken and waffles, dude. Okay. I'm trying to put it. Have you never played Rank 'em with us?
I guess I have.
Tony,
not.
I have about like 12 questions here. This is supposed to be the easy one just to kind of get us going.
This is the warm-up, right?
Oh, this is waffles over pancakes left.
So you disagree? You prefer pancakes.
See, it's even more complicated. I even did it correctly, and y'all had to come back and say, what did I really mean? I like this game. This is going to go well.
I would just find that hard to believe. I was surprised.
No, I prefer pancakes.
Justin.
Okay. I'm going to swipe right on this. It's, purely comes down to surface area to volume ratio because it's the crisp factor, right? You get the crisp and the crunch with the waffles because greater surface area to volume ratio.
Let's see.
Steven.
Right. Agree.
This is a really tough one.
This is a tough one.
There's reasons for both. But there's that crunchiness is a really good. I'm going left. Man, you make a good pancake with the right fillings. Banana pancakes are like the greatest thing on the planet. So I'm going swipe that left. Give me those great pancakes.
I just want to throw this out here. This is going to blow your mind, Steven. Banana waffles. Like anything you can put on a pancake, you can also put on a waffle. I'm just saying.
No, you can't do it the same. No. They got to be baked in. You can't do that with a waffle. No.
Sure you can.
No.
Okay.
So, but for me, being ability to hold the syrup, I agree with you on the waffles, but I'm with Steven.
Too many. I don't like all that syrup. It's too much syrup. The waffle is just.
I'm right there with you.
It's like a pool of syrup. I want to dip into the syrup.
You can't have too much syrup. I'm swiping right on this because you've got pockets for holding the syrup. It's built into the waffle.
No.
Well,
the battle lines have been drawn.
And how can a waffle get good butter?
It can't. You smear to the top and it seeps into the wells, the crevices.
Oh, imagine all that butter seeped there. My veins just hardened. Oh, that's something else. Okay.
It looks like in the chat though, it looks like people are swiping right mainly. So it looks like waffles
I bet they are
preferred. All right, Justin, we're gonna do this one with you. Here we go. You ready?
Okay. Yes, I am ready. I'm ready.
Campaign-style board games have peaked.
Oh, swipe left. I don't know. Is that it's probably left this way. Yeah, I don't know. Whatever. Anyway, yeah. I think it's reversed. Right. It's reversed. Swipe left. There will never peak. There will never be enough campaign games. My absolute favorite, play mode. Steven, Nick can see him nodding already. My roots are in role-playing games. I love it. I eat it up with a spoon. So never too much.
Steven.
In fact, hold on a second.
Oh, he's not done.
Hold on a second.
It gets better.
I can't announce a title yet, but we are working on something campaignish over at Team Restoration. I can't announce a title yet.
Got a teaser.
But we will have some sort of campaign-style game coming out one of these days. Well, one of these years, let's say.
so maybe where we could reprogram the Dark Tower.
No, that's unlikely. I mean, you can, but it voids the warranty.
All right, Steven?
Hard left. No way. Campaign games, just everything Justin said. They're the best. Love them. Love theme. Love story. They were all about that, and and an ongoing thing that you do in a game. So I want the campaigns now and forever.
All right. For me, I'm swiping left. I don't agree, but I kind of wish they would because I'm getting kind of tired of it. And here's why. Because there's so many of them now that I can't play them all. Every time a game comes out, it's like, oh, this is a campaign. It's like, I don't have time to play it. It looks great. I just don't have time to play it. And when there's so many, I wish they would it's like rolling rights. There was just like a lot of rolling rights, all of a sudden, and I couldn't play them all. Hey, don't point at me. You know what I'm talking about. And so that's how I got to feel with campaign games. So I don't agree. I don't think they've peaked, but I kind of wish they would. Tony?
Left, reiterate your point too. I wish they would. However, I just got delivered today a WizKid Star Trek campaign game, the Alliance game.
Has this been? What is this? I don't.
Yeah, what is it? Yeah,
are you sure you're allowed to tell us about this?
What?
Yeah, it's already out on BGG. So if it's on BG,
okay.
Yeah, Star Trek Dominion Alliance is a 1 to 2 player campaign game. You're the captain, and I will be. And if Marty would ever take time to teach me how to Twitchy thingy there, I would probably do a weekly Twitch of me playing this game as Captain Dower. That's a pirate, but that's what I'm going to be.
All right, next question.
Hold on a second. Captain Dower.
Dower.
As in like a synonym for grumpy.
Yeah.
And just clarifying here.
Yeah, no,
okay.
You had it, man.
All right, okay.
Oh, so funny. Again, if you're just joining us on chat, we're playing swipe left, swipe right. I'm gonna make a comment, and you either agree by swiping right, disagree by swiping left, and let us know in the chat what you answer. So here comes the next one. We're gonna get off of the board games. We'll come back to them, obviously, but here we go. Let's do a little TV. Let's do a little TV, gentlemen. Cheers is better than Frasier.
Oh,
Steven,
man.
we'll start with you. Everybody will start. I'm just going to kind of round table who starts.
Cheers is a classic. We're swiping right on that. Cheers is an absolute classic. Stands the test of time. The characters from there went to other things too, which makes it even a pivotal point. Obviously, to Frasier. Great acting, great people. Yeah, absolutely. Cheers. Better than Frasier. Swiping right.
You know what? I am actually swiping left. I think Cheers is a classic TV show, but so we've rewatched Frasier. Frasier is really, really funny. And when I go back and watch Cheers, I kind of got tired of the Sam and Diane, will they, won't they? Sam and Rebecca, will they, won't they? Amazing show. I loved it. But for me, I think Frasier actually tops it just a little bit. So I'm swiping left. Tony?
Swiping left as well. Justin?
Yeah, I mean, this is a tough one because, Cheers is 100% a classic and some great episodes. I'm going to have to swipe left too, though. Only because, it's interesting, like the worst seasons of Cheers Frasier are definitely worse than the worst seasons of Cheers, but the best episodes and seasons of Frasier are just a little bit better than the best of Cheers for me. And really, it's that dynamic between Frasier and Niles is just some of the most hilarious stuff. Peace. And then they would always have 1 or 2 a season of these zany romp episodes with Frasier where they'd be running back and forth or some huge misunderstanding or whatever it is. And those episodes are always just incredibly well written and acted. So close one for me.
All right. And in the chat, it looks like most people swiped right. So they agree that Cheers is a better show. Question 4. This is a little bit deeper. Because of the pandemic, board game sales performed better than expected in 2020. Now, we're talking to insiders, so you may actually know. I really don't know. But I'm going to start this one out. I will say swipe right because it seems like, I know when I go to big box stores, games were flying off the shelves. They were always out of stock. I know that our sponsor, Miniature Market, they couldn't keep up with the sales they had at the end of the year. So I'm thinking they performed better than expected in 2020. Tony?
I'm thinking about this. Because of the people's needs and just picking up the Walmart Target stuff, nothing against, the basics, the Clue, the Monopoly and all of that.
I include those in this question, by the way.
Yeah. Okay. I'm going to have to go right. Go right. I think 2020 was a huge year because I know it was for puzzles.
Yeah.
Puzzles.
All right. Now to the experts, Justin.
I'm going to swipe right on this one. I will say it's certainly been uneven, though. I know for a fact I do have some data and personal data, but also I've talked to other people in the industry that for some people, it was definitely a down year, no question about it. But overall, and I have to say for us, we've been incredibly lucky. And in particular, Unmatched has just been like gangbusters for us. We're about to do our 4th printing of Battle of Legends Volume 1. It just keeps chugging along. For us, it was a amazing year for board game sales. But I do know it wasn't true for everybody. But overall, I think it was definitely an up year. So swipe right for me.
Steven.
Swipe to the right. If you would listen to Board Games Insider with Ignacy Trzewiczek of Portal Games and Stephen Buonocore, the Podfather of Gaming, you would know that we're reporting that, at least when I left Stronghold Games, Stronghold was 15% ahead of the year before. I also was very honest. I said the month of April, distribution sales. So there's multiple channels, right, that we sell to. We sell to Hobby Distro. We sell to Amazon. We sell to Specialty. Hobby distribution was basically zero for that month, $1,500. I mean, that is like zero. But Amazon sales went through the roof throughout that entire time. And then, of course, Hobby Distro picked up a little later. Overall, it was up when I left. It will probably be a flat to up year for the entire group, Indie Boards and Cards and Stronghold. As an industry, I doubt we are up as an industry in total, but if you had good product, if you had evergreen product, you sold more of it than you expected to sell. And here's my best anecdotal evidence of that. We overprinted Terraforming Mars going into 2020 with obviously no knowledge of the year, but overprinting because there was opportunities to print with our partners in Europe. And then, it was just the way that the printing set. So we had more than we necessarily needed going into 2020. Stronghold stocked out in October. So it was up like 50%. It was like a crazy amount up, Terraforming Mars. We obviously anticipated that at some point. And by November they were back in stock. So it all worked out. But the point is, as an industry, if you had great products, and certainly Restoration does, and certainly Stronghold, Indie Boards and Cards does, you were able to do pretty darn well this year.
Okay. And the chat tends to agree. Most people swiped right on that. So Tony.
So Marty, before you continue on, I want to tell us about Steven on this Board Game Insider thing. You still doing that?
Absolutely doing that. I didn't lose all that knowledge. I still got it up there.
Okay. I just want to check.
Listen, I want to put in a plug for it. It is a great podcast.
Yep.
Ignacy really knows what he's talking about.
Thank you.
Steve's not bad.
Ignacy really knows what he's talking about. Buonocore just interprets his Polish into English.
Well, we try. Well, if it wasn't for Ignacy's bedtime, we wanted to get someone who has a mastery of the English language, not somebody from North Carolina. Okay. Let's be honest.
You two hillbillies, do not talk about my northern accent. That's all I gotta say.
We aren't hillbillies. That's in the Appalachians. We aren't in the Appalachians.
So you are Southerners? What are you?
Southerners?
Yes, Southerners. What was the word he couldn't say on our podcast?
Drawing. I can't say
drawing.
I cannot say drawing right.
DRARING, drawing.
Yeah. No, I still to this day, my girlfriend laughed. She grew up in New Jersey, and she's like, you're saying it like terrible. I'm like, yeah, it's just bad. I can't. Drawing.
Well, Marty and I can't throw any stones because we. Oh.
Yeah. All right, Tony. Question 5. Here we go.
Oh.
70s music is better than 80s music.
Oh man. Oh, that's tough. That is hair bands versus drugged out bands. Man.
Wow. I think there's a lot more than just hair bands and drug bands in those two decades. Okay.
All right. So I worked in a music store in the 80s, and I found myself levitating more towards the 70s. So
you levitated? You floated above the ground?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe gravitated might be the right word you're looking for there.
No, I levitated because I was with the bands. Just kidding. So I'm gonna have to say, which was better, 70s or 80s?
70s music is better than 80s music. If you agree that 70s is better, you swipe right.
That's right. We're going right. We're going right.
70s is better. Okay. 80s. Justin.
I'm gonna swipe left on this one. I mean, I grew up in the 70s and 80s. I definitely liked plenty of 70s music, but I think the 80s music a little bit more. I sort of went from my classic rock, which at the time was just rock, to more alternative and punk music. I had this phase, which I still that was, I guess, define my musical taste. I'm still more into that. It's funny, where my wife and I are during the pandemic, we've been watching The Americans, which is an old show on the FX, which takes place during the 80s. And every couple of episodes, they'll put on a classic song from the 80s. The episode we just watched, they had a song from Yaz, and I was like, oh man, that brings me back. I haven't heard that song in a long time. So maybe I'm just feeling it right now. And if you ask me in a month, maybe it would be 70s, but I'd say 80s right now. So I'm going to swipe left.
And Steven.
I'm going right. I am the hugest Elton John fan on the planet. He was like my number one, and still is. Big fan of the Stones, as they did a lot of stuff. The Who, Zeppelin. But I mean, really, my eras that I like: 60s, 70s, 80s. So when I have to pick between them, it's so hard. But I'll say, sure, 70s gets that little nod over 80s.
And I'm probably the same way. 70s music kind of made me the type of person I am when it comes to music that I like. It kind of set my taste. I love 80s music. Don't get me wrong. Absolutely love it. But there's some extremely talented bands that came out of the 70s. So
no doubt.
I'm swiping right. And you know what? The chat is almost about dead even between the two. So 2 great decades for music. You can't really go wrong. So Justin, here is your question. Kind of going back to the 2020 in sales. 2021 will be a better year for board game sales than 2020.
That's an interesting one. I almost want to swipe left on that. The only thing that I'm hesitating is I think there's just sort of a general inclination in the games market. I still don't think we've hit the bubble. I don't like that term, but so I think there's going to almost always be a trend towards growth in board games, at least for the foreseeable future. But I do think 2020 was an aberration, like I talked about, in terms of people really leaning into games. And more importantly, I think there's a problem, a lot of publishers will have a bit of a problem in the pipeline from 2020 that could impact the games that they're getting out in 2021. We'll see. I don't know, but I know for us, it caused issues for us in terms of trying to finish development on some of these games that are getting pushed back. Now they might hit end of 2021, some of them, but not going to help boost the sales for most of 2021. But we'll see. I could see it going either way, but I'm going to swipe left.
Okay, Steven.
Swipe right. Even though 2020 will be a pretty good year, again, depending on each publisher. Some of them are going to not do very well. Some of them are going to do really well. 2021, once we break out of the COVID thing, and with the having under our belt, like all of this like pent up energy to get back together, to get back to conventions, to get back to seeing each other in a place where we can actually hang out. I think people are going to be buying games like crazy to do that now. So I'm going right. I think 2021 in the end could be the biggest year ever. I didn't put that in my predictions episode, which I just did, because it's that, you never know how big the year was until like several months after the end of the year. So it's too hard to do that. But I think 2021 will end up for board games being the biggest year to date.
Okay. I'm going to go swipe left, kind of what Justin was saying, just because of some supply issues and stuff like that. But also getting out of the hobby board games, I just wonder, like I said, it seems like at Target, Walmart, just everyday people were going in there grabbing up everything they could so they have something to do at home with the kids. And I'm wondering if once things start opening up, that the Hasbro games, the Clues and stuff, just really tail off in sales because number one, they've already bought them, and now they can go out and go on vacation, do other stuff. So that's why I'm wondering on a broad spectrum, aside from just our little hobby board game, just broad board games, that it may not match 2020. So I'm swiping left. Tony.
I'm going to go left as well. Two reasons. One, even if we go back to quote, whatever the normal may be late in 2021, I think you're going to do exactly what Marty. I mean, there's already a rush on people trying to make vacation plans in late 2021. And I think a lot of that is going to everybody's just going to scatter. I mean, plain and simple. And I think they're going to get back to what they were doing originally. However, if this thing continues to drag out and we continue to not be, I think a lot of economic downturn will continue to occur. Unfortunately, I'm a Debbie Downer here.
Well, of course. And it looks like the chat mostly agree that 2021 will be better. They swiped right. So, Stephen, let's see.
So they all agree with Stephen?
Yes, they all agree with Stephen. And all of us said the other way. It's interesting. Question 7. Okay, that was kind of heavy. So let's get back to some light stuff. Stephen, 50 is the new 40.
I can't curse, huh? Damn.
Okay, that's not one.
So swiping to the right, of course, and I can't imagine any of us are not going to actually. We not only, of course, just by living longer, of course, but also we think younger as a group, and the fact that we keep our minds engaged with board games makes us sharper as we get older. I think that you're going to be seeing people who are, 50 doing younger things, 60 doing younger things, 70 doing younger things, and we're going to continue seeing that for the longest time. So heavy swipe to the right, definitely.
I am swiping to the left because my doctor sure does treat me a whole lot different now than what he did. And my body says something is different. I go in there and it's like, now you do realize at this age, you're going to have to do this, 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 this. You can't do this, shouldn't do this, shouldn't do this. So yeah, no. It is a lot different for me now than what it was 10 years ago.
Just let him put the fingers where he's got to put them, and then you leave and you're fine. Don't worry. Will you take it easy?
My doctor doesn't do that anymore.
No, they don't. Nope. Actually, that's a funny thing. It's a joke now, but they've actually stopped doing that. But PSA. Get your colonoscopies. Yep. You're over 50. Get a colonoscopy. It's the most important thing you can do for your internal health. And I actually publicized this. We're deviating here, but I publicized my colonoscopy online, and I had this really long, interesting thread about it, and everyone's agreeing. Some people coming out and saying, "Hey, I did this, and they found all this kind of really bad stuff. So thank God I did it." So yeah, they were agreeing. So
I mean, get
your colonoscopy.
Everybody has done. The prep is the worst. The procedure's nothing. You're asleep. It's nothing.
Nothing.
Yes, nothing.
It's the easiest thing. You have a miserable night and morning. That's it. And who cares? Then you're done. Then you're open. Then you go have a pizza. That's exactly what I did. I had a pizza. It was great.
Tony, 50 is the new 40.
So I am swiping left. I disagree because my hair is receding. It sucks. We all can't have beautiful hair like you, Stephen. We all cannot have. I
do have good hair. It's getting real gray. It's getting real gray, but it's really thick.
Well, look at the 50. Well, look at the 50-year-old, and he's almost solid gray over there.
Oh yeah. And look,
But it's nice
Marty,
and thick. You look good, buddy. You look good.
Hey, when I met Marty, he was a blonde. So what can I say there? And I can't read as well as I used to be able to read Ignacio's cards. I can't read them now, not one freaking bit. I can't read instruction books. That's why I got to watch silly videos online on how to play. Exactly. You got to get the readers. And I'm just like, why does this happening? I don't like it.
Positive mental attitude, my friend. Got to keep it.
And what happens before? Somebody forgot to turn on the audio feed when we were here. I'm, pregnant. I'm like, okay, how do I help my memory? What am I doing here? What is happening? Thank goodness I can travel, and I go on cruises, so I feel young. And, that's where I'm at. I'm okay with that. I own that. I got my blankie because I'm cold.
We really got into Tony's wheelhouse.
Wow, we did.
Watch this baby to the left.
That was just supposed to be a cleanse the palate sort of question, and it got deep all of a sudden. Justin.
Oh, yeah. No, hold on. We've already talked about cleansing. Steven's already talked about cleansing.
Let me go tell you about that again. No. Continue.
I'm gonna agree with Steven here. I am swiping right. For me, it's very personal. I'm definitely feeling my age a little bit sometimes in the body, but mentally, it's not even close. I mean, if I think back when I was 40, I was running a law firm and nearly, killing myself slowly at the desk there with the stress and the lack of fulfillment or whatever. And then 46, 2016, I gave it all up, started this crazy venture with Rob, and it's been the greatest thing that ever happened to me. Just not even close. So for me, I feel mentally, it's a million times better than I ever did. So, and that goes out, old man, young man, woman, whatever, do what makes you happy. That is my one life advice. I can't stress it enough.
Nice.
Yeah, man.
Nice.
Absolutely
Very good.
true.
Very good. So we're about halfway through our questions here. And if you're watching, if you wouldn't mind giving us a sub on wherever you're watching, whether it be YouTube or Twitch, and give us a thumbs up, we'd really appreciate it. Heck, go sub on both, because all of our live streams will be 100% on Twitch, and Twitch. Every once in a while, they'll be on YouTube also. All right, here we go. Next question. This is
Can I get a meatball sub?
All right, so
subscription.
I kicked this one off. So this is a little bit more of a business discussion. Here we go. GameFound will be a major competitor to Kickstarter for board games. So this is me first. By the way, there's no fence sitting, and I wish I could fence sit because I really don't have a good answer for this. I actually want to hear what the experts thought. But so if I have to say something, GameFound will be a major competitor to Kickstarter. As it stands right today, I would say swipe left. I don't know that it'll be a major competitor. I think it'll be a player. But so many people on Kickstarter now that you have to get all these people to go and look at this other site and all that. So right now, I'm just going to say swipe left. Tony?
Never heard of GameFound. Swipe left. So plus, I'm tired of Kickstarter. I'm done. So
don't say that. I got stuff coming out on Kickstarter.
That's fine. I mean, it's just one of those things where it's just like I don't even keep up with all the stuff on Kickstarter. How do I get rid of the crap versus the good stuff? It's just one of those things. And if you're going to add another GoFundMe, GameFound, all this other stuff on top of it, that's going to be hard for this old man.
All right, Justin.
Yeah, I'm going to swipe left on this one, right? It was GameFound is going to be a competitor, right?
Yes.
I would say no. I'm going to swipe left. Excuse me. It's an interesting platform. I think certainly they had success with their first project, and I think it will work in certain circumstances for people who are bringing a big audience with them. But in terms of getting eyeballs on a project, I mean, Kickstarter is just an order of magnitude bigger, and I don't see how GameFound can make that make that leap anytime soon. I'm going to stop talking now and have a sip of my ginger ale.
All right, Steven?
That whole old thing going on there. Okay, good. Ignacio's prediction was that GameFound would have 6 crowdfundings over $1 million before the end of 2021. I disagreed with him. So I'm going to go with that as being major. No, Kickstarter is just too big. It's got all the eyeballs. There's no real reason to move there. It's going to have success. Awakened Realms is huge. it created a phenomenon on Kickstarter itself, sort of like the way Simon created its phenomenon there. So Awaken Realms being the owner of that site or part owner, them doing it and just running, they just got a $5 million crowdfunding. I always say a Kickstarter, $5 million crowdfunding. I just don't think they're going to see the kind of success that they would hope for, but I want to see it happen. So I hope I am wrong. Swipe left.
Yep. And so somebody in the chat said, I hope that GameFound drives Kickstarter to improve their page. Competition's always good, right?
Yeah.
That
is quite true, because the pages are terrible, and there's no tools to make them better. And so if it does anything, just giving the competition to improve the Kickstarter platform is the perfect thing that it could do.
Yep. All right. So Tony, this is your question.
Oh.
Christian Bale is the best on-screen Batman.
Man.
Yeah.
I see, and you know that you're getting me with this, because I can't tell you the difference. I don't remember Clooney was in one of them. Was Bale?
Let me help you out. The answer is not Clooney.
Well, I know
The
it's not
answer
Clooney.
is not Clooney.
It is, or Val Kilmer. Val Kilmer.
Not Val Kilmer, and not the
Michael Keaton.
Keaton
Here. Ben Affleck, Michael Keaton, Christian Bale, Val Kilmer. Yeah.
So was Bale the one that did the movies, the Batmans I like?
Yes.
Oh, which ones did you like?
then swipe right. Okay, thank you. Yeah. Sorry, I don't know. See, Marty knows this about me. He knows I don't know the actors and actresses and all that stuff. Unfortunately, I'm not good at that.
So are you swiping right?
I said right.
Okay.
Right.
All right, Justin.
I'm going to swipe right too, but I will say the Keaton I certainly enjoyed, but I think he just sort of has the going first advantage there. He was very good though. I have to say I don't mind Ben Affleck, so I guess I disagree with Steven on this one.
I actually don't hate him either.
I was just saying I don't think, like, for example, the Justice League movie was not great. The Superman versus Batman movie had its issues, but I thought he was good, and he plays a good sort of rich jerk, so. But Bale, I think, he just, those movies were so good, and he was good in them. So he had the benefit of being in the good movies too. We'll see. I'm optimistic for the new one coming up, the new Batman too. So we'll see.
Yeah. Oh, with the
Twilight guy, Robert Pattinson, right?
Yeah. All right, Steven.
Yeah, so it's a swipe right for me, and I'll even go a little bit further, and I'll just say, well, Bale had the advantage of all the good writing, all the good movies, so that's sort of why he got that, and he's great, and he's just great at it. I throw no hate on any of them basically, and I really do think that Affleck was good. I'm teasing. The movies were not. He was good, and you kind of have to separate that. Was Gal Gadot not good in the second Wonder Woman? Nah, she was great. It was a crappy written movie. Sorry if anybody liked it.
Unless she was in charge of the CGI, it wasn't her fault.
Yeah, I mean, so anyway, it's Bale, swipe right, but I like them all.
Yep. I'm gonna barely swipe right because I think Michael Keaton shocked me. It was like when I first heard he was cast as Batman, I was like, no. And in that first movie, it's like, you know what? He worked. He worked for me. And you're right. Christian Bale did get the benefit of having an amazing director and writers and stuff like that. So it is a slight right. But I could have really thrown a twist in there and gone swiped left and say, actually, Kevin Conroy is the best on-screen Batman.
Oh, you son of a gun, you. Yeah, you could have done that, but no, doesn't count.
You didn't.
It doesn't
count.
Adam
West.
It doesn't.
Adam West.
No. It doesn't count, but I will say that whenever I read Batman, the voice in my head's Kevin Conroy's.
Yeah.
So, Marty, I recorded something tonight. I didn't know this was coming in. It popped in on one of my ad feeds. So we're going to have to, for the next show, I hope you can watch it. But on the CW, do you know what came out tonight?
No.
Walker. They redid Walker, Texas.
Yeah, I know. And the guy from Supernatural, Jared Padalecki, stars in it.
Yeah, so I'm going to watch that because, we got to see it. We got to see the true Walker.
Yep. Looking at the chat, it's kind of trying to see. Ooh, it was kind of all over the place. A lot of people threw in Adam West. A lot of people said, Bell, Keaton. That was a good question. I got a lot. Will Arnett's the best Batman?
Right.
That's
from the
good.
Lego movie, right? Yeah.
That's good. So who kicked that one off? That was Tony, right? All right. So
Yes.
going back to a game question. Here we go. Justin, Gen Con will take place in Indianapolis in 2021.
Oh, I'm going to swipe right on this one, but it's funny because I think it certainly could, and if it can, I think it will. That's where I'm at on this. The only real sort of monkey wrench to all this is it takes a lot of planning to run Gen Con, and to try and plan something like that under these sorts of circumstances where the variables are changing almost daily in terms of, what the status of the country is going to be, in August is kind of remarkable. But I feel like they'll get it done somehow, and I think I'm sort of personally bullish on the vaccine and the rollout, and I think it'll start to pick up. And so I think by August, I think things won't be back to normal certainly, but there'll be a way to do it that makes sense. So I'm going to swipe right on this, and maybe that's just me wanting it to be true. I don't know.
Steven.
Very hard swipe right.
Oh.
Not only am I optimistic, I've been optimistic and been wrong throughout most of this time, but I really believe Gen Con will run. And one of the reasons they will run is because they have to run. And our lawyer here in front of me we could talk about force majeure. And if they've got a contract that says you have a contract to run at the Indianapolis Convention Center and you don't run, well, you still owe all this money. If they're allowed to run it by state law and local laws, they have to run. So they'll do it under some probably greatly reduced number. I mean, if they have 30,000, I think that would be a huge win, because a lot of people won't go, right? They won't go. They can't go. They're immunocompromised. They haven't got a vaccine. So 1,000 reasons not to go. But people like me, I'm going to the city. I'm going to be there. I'm going to be masked up. I'm going to be gloved up. I'm going to be whatever needed. And hopefully I will have a vaccine in my arm to do it. I want it to happen. And by the way, I think they won't be the first big major one. Dice Tower East.
Okay.
And I have no knowledge. And even though I'm part of the Dice Tower Network, I have no inside knowledge. I just think they're going to run first.
Well, that would be around July-ish, and they keep that to around 3,000 people. So that's a lot more manageable.
Yeah, 1,500. Actually, they're moving it down. They decided last year that to bring it down. So I think that that's going to run, and I think Gen Con will run, and that's really going to be the signal that, hey, we're back.
Yeah.
Gen Con 2021.
I'm going to also
So
go ahead. Sorry.
I just real quickly, I'm curious about Steven's thoughts on Origins. Then, if we're going to creep back one more slot.
Well, no, that's in
Origins
October.
Origins is already.
No, they already bumped. That's right. That's right.
No. September.
First weekend in October, but it's the end of
September.
September.
You're right. September 30th to October 4th or whatever that comes out to. So yes. So obviously, if Gen Con runs, then that runs.
That's
and
right.
I think,
forgot they bumped it back. That's right.
I think Essen's going to run this. So I think everything basically, from Dice Tower East on for the rest of the year will run. But I have no knowledge more than any person here that it's my optimistic view on life, the universe, and everything / where I think we'll be with vaccinations on some level.
Yep. I'm going to swipe right. I think it will happen, but I mean, stuff's got to start happening soon. I would think, as big as it is. I do hope it's reduced numbers. The first time I ever went to Gen Con, that there was 35,000 people there, and I thought, man, this is just packed. And now it's double that. I would love to see it back down to 35,000. It'd be great. So I'm swiping right. Tony?
I think it will happen too, swipe right, but I think there will be a hard cap limit set on it, and therefore you will not see those numbers. I think the state will mandate certain levels. You will have to watch. I tell you what, one of the first things you can watch to see how things are going to go is the baseball season. See what's it's going to be outdoor, see what the states are going to do. And I'm living this good stuff all the time. So I think that's what will determine. An indoor convention is going to be a logistical nightmare on how to manage and ensure that the people attending are safe. And what do you do if they don't follow the rules, just like we're having to deal with now?
But you know what won't be a logistical nightmare? Our strike tournament at Gen Con at the Spaghetti Factory or whatever it's called.
Yes, warehouse.
Yeah, there used to be a spaghetti factory or something, right?
Yes, there used to be. That's absolutely right. And that may be the only thing that I go and attend.
Let's see. Who did I ask first on that one? It was
me,
Justin.
Justin, I think.
All right.
See, once again, that old age thing, keeping track, just write it down.
I'm having to mark what stuff we've done. So that was a game question. This is a non-game question. All right, here we go. Mandalorian feels more like the original Star Wars than the latest trilogy.
Who's it to?
It's going to be Steven. Steven, sorry.
Oh, okay.
Mandalorian feels more like the original Star Wars than the latest trilogy.
No, swipe left. No, I mean, it might be the best Star Wars since the original trilogy. Original first two movies, I'll go with that, actually. But no, I don't think it feels more like, Star Wars than the original. Or no, I would no. I love it, by the way. It's phenomenal.
Okay.
No. Swipe left.
I am swiping hard right. I got so much of the original vibes with Mandalorian, with its Western feel and its characters and its locations and stuff, that until I saw Mandalorian, I didn't realize what I was really missing in the last trilogy. So for me, it gave me all those feels and everything that I had from episodes 4, 5, and 6. I just didn't get from 7, 8, and 9. So I'm swiping right. Tony.
So not really seeing the Mandalorian. Which way do I swipe?
You didn't see it at all?
I saw a couple episodes. So I won't swipe left. Okay, I'll swipe. I would normally bypass this altogether. Swipe left.
Okay, we're skipping you. Justin.
Thank you.
It's interesting. I'd almost swipe middle. And I'm not.
If Justin could swipe middle, I should have been able to swipe.
I'm not hedging. Just to be clear, I just don't. What I think it's like a hybrid almost. What it feels like to me is that they took a lot of the elements of the original trilogy, like a lot of those characters and those pieces, but it feels very modern to me in a way that the recent trilogy does. The set pieces and the action scenes and stuff felt very modern to me. But with Boba Fett and spoiler alert, the last episode there and all this stuff, it was great to see all the stuff from those originals in a sort of essentially a modern, in the same way that I loved Rogue One, by the way, which is one of my favorites.
Yeah. Rogue One is possibly the best Star Wars ever done, but let's put that to the side for a second. Yeah. See, I don't see Marty. I don't get that you're saying that it's like the originals. I mean, it's just a different take on everything. It's just great storytelling, and that's what we really want to see in Star Wars. So we've had so much bad storytelling. The episodes 1, 2, 3, God, and 7, 8, 9, very mediocre. I don't think that Mandalorian is really at all like the original. They brought back the characters and things like that. But, I mean, they just use lots of, little tropes to make it really interesting, too. Like, did we need to have Baby Yoda in, every scene? And that's what they did. You take a look. Every scene, you have to have a Baby Yoda shot. Now, I liked it. Don't get me wrong. Fantastic. But that doesn't at all make it like it was the original trilogy.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Episode 4, 5, 6. That's my thought.
Yep. So the chat's like, right. And one person says, right. One body says, hard right. One person says, 100% agree with Marty. Love you, Rob. All right. So,
wait a minute. Which chat are you watching? That's on the YouTube chat?
That one's on YouTube. Yeah. I have a nice little tool that shows me both chats at the same time.
Oh, okay. You got all the special toys for rolling dice and taking them.
Hey, you got a new camera, and you're going to get a ring light, and you're using neither one because now we're looking up your nose and it's dark.
Well, that's probably a good thing, right? If we're going to look up the nose, I'd rather it be dark. Let's just say that.
Okay.
I agree.
This one is to me. Here we go. Plastic inserts for board games are better than a bunch of bags and no insert. I am swiping left. I would rather have just a big box like Z-Man, like a Gaia Project. I have everything in bags. I just pull all the bags out. Here's your player bag. Here's your player bag. Here's this bag with deck cards. Here's your bag with deck cards. The reason why is because many inserts don't work at all. The ones that do work, and Justin, you have some of those unmatched, amazing inserts that holds the cards, holds the models. It survives the shake test. Most of them don't. They have these slots for cards and pieces and the tokens, and you turn it upside down. It's all over the place. So at that point, I'd rather just put them in bags, take out the insert, and be done with it. So I'm swiping left. Tony.
Swipe left. Don't give me that plastic stuff. My gosh. Just give me bags. Give me plenty of bags. And if you're going to put miniatures in it, fine. Give me that insert so I can protect that. But make it so at least the mold for the insert for the miniature actually works. Not one of these that, never mind. Just swipe left.
Justin.
Man.
Yeah, I'm going to swipe left too. And I'll say, like, unmatched, in my humble opinion, is the exception that sort of proves the rule, right? Like, it's certain games you want that nice insert where, like, each hero needs to be separately or whatever, but something like a regular Euro game or our other games, Downforce, Stop Thief, whatever, I'm getting my plug-in, Steven. I learned from the best. You don't need the perfect plastic insert for something like that. Put it in a bag, throw it in the box. It's great. So swipe left, except, asterisk if the game really needs it for some reason.
Steven.
Plug away, Justin, at all times, every time, always be branding. Always be branding. Hard left. 99% of inserts are nonsense. Inserts, the cardboard ones, have one purpose in life: to protect the components until they get to you. It's storing things. And I don't buy inserts. I think that's ridiculous. I mean, there are organizers that make sense on certain games, so it's not like it's 100%, but no, I don't really want inserts. Give me nice bags. Oh, you know what? Don't even give me bags. I got my own bags. I got plenty of kitchen bags. But we put bags in. Justin puts bags in. We want to do that for you guys too. So, Swipe left. No plastic frou inserts.
Yeah. Now a lot of people in the chat are saying, gamer trays. Yeah. I think all of us are saying that if an insert is done right, amazing. The problem is like Steven said, a majority of them are not done right. And that's kind of what we're going on. All right. So gentlemen, man, timing is perfect. We all said we need to get to bed within the hour. So we're coming up on our last question of the night.
Old Man Mafia.
Old
10
Man
o'clock
Mafia.
Eastern time.
Here we go. This ended up being the last one. It's not the best last question, but it is what it is. This is for Tony. Red Lobster is better than Olive Garden.
Oh my God.
I haven't eaten in a restaurant in forever, dude. Okay, Red Lobster is better than Olive Garden. I am swiping left on that. I can go for the soup and salad, never-ending breadsticks all day freaking long. So there you go. That's it.
Justin?
I got to swipe neither on this one, only because, listen, I work with Rob. He would literally excommunicate me if I said I would be willing to eat in either of them. I'm not trying to be snobby, but
yes, you are.
If I'm going to eat out, I'm going to eat somewhere nice. Otherwise, I'll just cook it myself.
Wow, he did a swipe in the middle. He did.
Swipe zero.
Wow. Steven?
So yeah, I have the same answer, but my answer is going to be in this case, I'll have to swipe right, only because for me to set foot in an Olive Garden, an Italian restaurant? Are you out of your mind? So sure, you might catch me in a Red Lobster, and I'm a huge fish person. I'm gonna go to a nice fish restaurant. I love seafood. But if I had to, I'm not going to an Olive Garden. There's no way you're gonna find me in an Olive Garden. I'm gonna go to Maggiano's. I'm gonna go another good chain. There are good chain Italian restaurants, but Olive Garden ain't one of them.
How about what do you think about Buca di Beppo?
Oh.
Yeah, I mean it's acceptable. No, would I go there normally? No. Maggiano's, the best that I know of chain Italian restaurants, Maggiano's. Really nice, high quality, big portions.
Hard agree. Yeah.
What is it?
Hard agree. I
hard agree. Yeah.
So, okay. So this was a setup question. I can't remember the last time I stepped foot in either one of those restaurants. It's just, I always see them all over the place and they're always packed. Now, Steven's going to hate me. I'm not a big Italian fan. So if you made me go to one of the two, I would probably go to Red Lobster because I just like their cheese or cheddar biscuits.
Those biscuits,
or
those are good.
But like you said, if I'm going to get fish, I'm going to go, down here in the South, we have fish camps. You'll find me in a fish camp somewhere. That's what I would have. So, gentlemen,
hundreds of both Italian restaurants down here and seafood restaurants, and everyone's better than the next one. It's pretty amazing for those two styles of cuisine down in South Florida.
So people are saying they want a bit more. Does anybody have one additional swipe left or swipe right you want to throw in, or the chat? If the chat wants to throw in one swipe right,
let the chat get a good one.
Well, Marty, while you do that, I'll give one out here to these two gentlemen. Okay. We didn't do any sports ball stuff, so
okay,
all right.
I didn't know. Is Steven into sports ball?
Sports? You mean sports?
Yeah, I'm sorry. I hate that term, sports ball. You into sports?
Yeah.
All right, let's do it.
I am not really these days.
Oh, okay.
But no, so I'm probably going to not be able to answer this question, but let's hear it.
All right. Summer Olympics is much better than Winter Olympics.
Okay, that I can answer.
Yeah. Okay, so we'll start with Justin since I started with the Olive Garden.
Okay. I'll swipe right on that only because I enjoy both of them, and in some ways, I'm a South Florida bred and born, so I didn't see snow till I went to college. So for me, the Winter Olympics always held a little bit of mystique that the Summer Olympics didn't. But the Winter Olympics can get a little repetitive with the 27 different kinds of skiing. So I like the variety of the Summer Olympics better. So that's why I'm going to swipe right on that one.
Versus the 30 varieties of running around a track.
True, but then there's also like all the other stuff too. You got like team handball and like canoeing and all this, crazy stuff out there. So.
All right, Steven.
It was summer, swipe right?
Summer,
right?
summer.
Summer is better. Summer's better. I like them both too. I like that competition of the nations and stuff. It's kind of fun. Summer's it's a bigger amount of things. It was the original one. There's more stuff going on, and it's all that kind of real old school athletic events. So swipe right, Summer Olympics. I do love them.
Yeah, I'm torn too. I used to be a big time skier, love skiing, so I love the Winter Olympics. But you've got ping pong and badminton in the summer, and that is, I tell you, watch some competitive badminton. It is mind blowing. But so yeah, I will swipe right for the summer. And hey, I just want to say, Ian O'Toole just joined us in the chat. Ian O'Toole, artist and everything, has done so many games. In fact, he has a. Hold on, I'm going to forget. Ian, you're on the chat. What's the game that just went on Kickstarter that you did? There's a game right now on Kickstarter that he saw he was doing art for.
He did all
was
of
it Carnegie? Is it Carnegie? I can't remember.
Love his work.
So an amazing job. So nobody in the chat has given us another one to do.
Wait a minute. Hold on. Do I get to answer this?
Oh, I thought you did. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I answered the question and now it came back to me, but that's okay. I understand how this rolls. So I'm going to go also summer. And mostly, I think it's because one of Ignacio's favorite sports is the competitiveness of the beach volleyball.
Beach volleyball is good.
Love it.
Yeah,
love it.
I love.
Yeah.
I mean, is amazing athletes. And I can just sit there and watch the beach volleyball. I enjoy that. And even because I could not jump off a diving board without hitting it with my belly, that amazes me too, that they're able to do all that and still stay straight in the water. I'd be dead.
Yeah. Ian just said it is Carnegie. Looks amazing. And we played, I believe you did Rococo, the latest division. Ian, I don't know.
Ian did the board for Unmatched Little Red versus Beowulf and some more Unmatched boards coming up.
Does he sleep? He's a machine. Yeah, I mean, it's amazing the stuff that he does. Love his stuff, man. And in fact, since he's listening, we have a special new series where we interview people and we want to talk about, different people in the hobby that besides game designers. And Ian, you're on our list to possibly come on to tell us about how you got into to doing artists for board games and everything.
What's that show called, Barney?
It is sponsored by Restoration Games and it's called At the Table. At the Table.
You're kidding me.
Yeah. Sponsored by Restoration Games from Justin Jacobson. And in fact, we've already set up our next interview. It's going to be with Sarah Erickson, who is just promoted to vice president over at Renegade Games. So Sarah went from like running a hobby store, board game store, worked her way up through the ranks to a vice president of a major publishing company. So I'd love to hear her story. So we can't wait to get her on.
It's funny. When I heard that news, I said, what? She wasn't already like running everything? I thought she was already like the president.
She's amazing. So
no offense to Scott, of course.
Screw Scott. I love Sarah. I love Scott too, but Sarah's amazing. Best of luck to her in her new role, which is just more responsibility from her old role. She's great people.
All right, I got another one for you, Marty. If you want to keep going,
go for it.
One more. Buonocore's got to go to bed.
All right. So, collectible card games dominate living card games.
I don't understand the question.
Collectible card games are so much better than living card games. You enjoy?
Okay.
Yeah. You know the difference?
Who goes?
Magic versus.
Yeah, I understand the difference.
Okay.
Who goes first?
Steven.
No, living card games. It's sort of an evolution. So swipe right. Would you say collectible? So swipe left that far, right?
Disagree. You prefer living. Okay.
Yeah. Living is a sort of a natural extension of what collectible was, and now it's like a new evolution. You can't make it these days as a collectible card game. Magic and Pokemon have got that segment. Now we can all kind of participate. Publishers and gamers almost will participate with the living card game. So, yeah, living card games much better.
Swipe left. Living card game basically put an end to many of the CCGs except for basically 3: Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh, Magic. Flesh and Blood has all of a sudden come on and has taken on some new life. It's rare for a CCG to catch on like it did, but it did. But next month, I'm going to be getting Ashes Rebirth, which is a LCG, Vampires, which is LCG. So swipe left.
All right. So I'm going to swipe right because of the longevity of the collectible of Magic and Pokemon. All the ones you've named have even with Fantasy Flight, you think how many they've had to end or redo. They eventually die out. Meanwhile, the big 3 continue to produce and gather money. Therefore, collectibles will dominate. So I agree.
Yep. Justin?
Yeah, I'm going to swipe as a publisher to the right because I would love to have a CCG.
Yeah, we would all.
Print my own money.
Yeah.
It's funny. One of the things I actually have been looking at since we started the company was, is there one of those old CCGs from the real heyday there in the 90s and whatnot, that we could take that was a CCG and turn it into an LCG, right? Like re-release, like they did with Vampire just recently, sort of like that.
Can we talk offline? Tony and I have several.
Yeah.
Go to Alderac and get their license for Spycraft. Spycraft was an amazing CCG.
It was there were a bunch of good ones. I mean, we need to bring Suzanne if we're gonna all have a a powwow about this. So.
Oh yeah.
Hey, well, whenever she wants, whenever you give her time, the woman is so busy. Okay.
So
you got to give her a break.
She's our secret weapon.
So we last one. We do have one question from the chat. It's from Elizabeth, who's been here the entire time. Sorry, Stephen. Okay. This is the last one. Here we go, and I'll start it off.
Yeah.
Dungeon delve games are better than space games. Swipe right. I'm always a fantasy guy. I love dungeon delve video games and everything. So for me, swipe right. Tony.
I'm swiping left because I just talked about at the very beginning. Star Trek. I love the space themes. Love space themes. Justin?
Yeah, I mean, we're back where we started, right? I'm a D&D guy through and through, so I'm going to swipe right, I guess it is, for the fantasy. I'm a fantasy guy.
Steven?
Terraforming Mars, which way?
Stronghold, one of the things it certainly became known for was a lot of space games. In fact, that's one of the reasons we got Terraforming Mars. So, and I both the ring and things like that, but space themed. I mean, Star Trek guy, I got to go left there for it with space theme.
All right. So before we get out of here, gentlemen, Justin, where can people find you? Do you have any little things you can dribble out saying, hey, Restoration, keep an eye in January or February or March, maybe something's coming, anything you can tease?
Yeah, I mean, we don't have anything coming out immediately. This is what I was talking about before, as far as like how 2020 like disrupted all the development of a bunch of things. But we do have a lot of stuff coming out this year. Key to the Kingdom was supposed to come out last year. That got pushed to this year, but it looks amazing. Andrew Bosley's doing the art, and it's a fun family weight game. I think people are really going to dig it. And then, of course, we have Unmatched coming. The big news we announced earlier this year was 4 Marvel sets, hopefully all coming out this year. We also have Battle Legends Volume 2 coming out. I teased somewhere else. One of the heroes is a spooky hero, which is kind of fun. We haven't done that before. But it's a really fun set of 4. And hopefully Jurassic Park 2 will be coming out this year. We're still waiting on licensing with that. And then, of course, the big one is Return to Dark Tower. Working on that for going on 3 years now. But it's looking amazing. So it might well be available at Gen Con. We'll see. That's what we're shooting for. So
Insta-buy.
So, Steven, you're retired, but you're still doing stuff. Where can people find you, hang out? I think you do a weekly hangout on Facebook, right?
I do a bi-weekly happy hour with the Podfather. So I'll start at the top. I've stayed in the game media side, not monetizing anything, just simply sharing myself and bringing people together. So you can go over to Facebook and go to the Podfather of Gaming page and like that. And we post our events there. And those events are a weekly happy hour, as I just mentioned, every Thursday night at 7 p.m., which I just did one right before this, a little before this, and every Sunday at 4 p.m. Eastern time, where we get together live in a Zoom meeting, and we just talk and have fun and laugh and make jokes. And it's been going on now since April, of last year. So throughout the pandemic, and I've committed to doing it until we're kind of gotten a semblance of normalcy again. So go over there and check that out. In the meantime, what other place? On Twitter, at Podfather Gaming. That's the Twitter handle. Same on Instagram. I post all the videos that we do on YouTube, and that's the Podfather Gaming channel on YouTube.
Mm-hmm. And if you'll notice, under everybody's name, they have their current Twitter address, so you can find it there. If you're still watching and you enjoy what we did tonight, please give us a
we got a timeout.
Sorry.
Time out.
Please follow me at Restoration Game. I don't use my old personal Twitter account at all.
Oops.
And I'm this close to 10,000 followers, and Restoration Game Twitter account. Help me get there. Come on.
I got to go follow you right now.
I just like Steven. I figured out how to load Facebook. Okay. Do I swipe left or right on Facebook? What do I do here?
Okay, I just updated the title. Now it's at Restoration Games. So look at that on right below Justin's name. You'll see it down there. Again, if you enjoy what we did tonight, please give us a sub, please follow us, etc. Let us know. Maybe we can get these guys to come back and do this again. Thank you so much for everybody in the chat who hung out with us and answered. It was a blast. Justin, Stephen, it's fantastic seeing you guys. And hopefully we get to see each other in person this year at some point.
Here, here. Thank you.
Take care, everybody out there. It's really great seeing you guys in particular. See you at the conventions.
That's right.
Keep rolling dice.
Oh, and I guess taking names?
Aren't we supposed to always do that?
Well,
Isn't that
well, you don't have to.
Wah, wah,
Good night,
wah.
everyone.